Bro.
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 Bro. Daniel Bryan is the 9/11 of WrestleMania 34. It's a joke, right? But out of context, that shit sounds terrible.
Heel Nakamura is best for business. The Nutcracker Prince or whatever you want to call him. I'm all
great.
I'm all about
That's
it.
a t-shirt. Well, he was right about this. Well, of course he was, man. He also predicted 3 other things to happen with that same prediction. Like,
Bro.
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 bro,
Bro.
bro,
Bro.
bro.
Say hello to the bald guy.
And bow down to your king.
This is Drive-By.
Welcome everyone, and thanks for listening. I am Mike Shooter Marcus. With me, as always, the King of Nerds, Mike Forrest. We are the Mikes on Mike, and we are coming at you like a shin bone to the dome when your mama ain't home. What's up, Mike?
No, I like that. That was
clever. Stealing a little bit from Daniel Bryan, his nice little big cast promo that they had on WWE.com. Not sure if you saw that or not, but if not, search it out. It's pretty fantastic.
Clever of you, you clever son of a bitch.
Yeah, I try. Well, we got a lot of stuff. Like, literally, it's amazing how the last couple of weeks we were like, we're going to pull some things, and we made a pretty good couple batches of chicken salad out of chicken shit when it came to the wrestling news world. And this week, I don't even know how we're going to do this one show, but we're damn sure going to try, aren't we?
We're going to give it a shot.
Yeah, that's all we can do. So I guess let's roll into it. And this is really kind of a little bit of your lead, Mike, but New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion pay-per-view. Last, technically, I guess, Friday night for us, right?
Saturday morning.
Time.
It started at 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's that time travel shit that just confuses the hell out of me, man.
Yeah, it was 3 a.m. It was a weird time to be up for wrestling. It always is. New Japan shows always really throw me off with the time differential.
It really does. And I don't want to... I guess we'll get your overall impression at the end, because like I said, we got a lot to unpack in this show, and just about every wrestling podcast that's a wrestling podcast has already done overall match for match, kind of blow by blow review of this pay-per-view. So let's just take and we'll be honest, what most of our fans are going to it's going to matter to, and they're going to care about. Young Bucks, heavyweight tag team champions. How about it?
It's nice to see them move out of the junior tag division. They've been junior tag division for quite some time, and really, if they want to start, I think it's all part of the play to start pushing WWE for competition. The Bucks are 2 of their biggest stars. They're the biggest tag team in the world. They're the biggest tag team that we've seen in years. These guys are on they remind me of like a Legion of Doom almost, where they just go to, and we don't have a territory system anymore, but it's almost like we do. Instead of being like a national, how the nation of America used to be broke down into territories, it's almost like we have a world territory now system. So it's like the Bucks have gone from territory to territory, making this big name for themselves. Kind of like the Legion of Doom did, the Steiners. They remind me of like this old school tag team that's just been around the world and built their name. So I mean, like, hard work. These guys are 2 of the biggest stars in the world. So it makes sense that you're also going to want to make them your heavyweight tag team. Not to take away from the junior tag division. In Japan, it's just as revered as the heavyweight tag division. But if you're making a play for the North American market, we look down on juniors, or cruiserweights, if you will. It's just the fact of the matter. So it makes sense makes sense that they're going to want to move the Bucks into that heavyweight tag division.
It sure does, and it is interesting what we're going to keep talking about, what New Japan did at this pay-per-view. So we move on from just the Bucks and them becoming heavyweight IWGP champion, tag champs. Chris Jericho, man, 10-time Intercontinental Champion. Fight me on that. He's a 10-time champ.
No, he's a 10-time champ, and I have a feeling
Yeah.
WWE will recognize him as such upon his return.
I agree with that, and man, you and I kind of talked. Not on air, off air about this, and I even said to you, like, doesn't Jericho kind of need to win this because, I mean, he's doing now a second quote unquote one-off in New Japan. He although career-wise, Jericho's achieved pretty much everything you think he could have. However, he proves us wrong. But at the same time, he can't be the big superstar that just comes in and New Japan guys just keep beating, because eventually it's not going to matter.
You know what, though? He could have been.
You think?
He could have been, and no one would have cared. Hey, there they are, guys. There's the sirens again.
I was trying not to say it.
There it is. We can't go a week. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you.
Hey,
it happened this
Mike
early in the
Forrest.
show, which means it's going to happen again later.
It also means that if you want to move to the kingdom, real estate just opened up.
Yeah, that's true. Someone is dead. Real close to me, also. So you could be like literally right around the corner from me. You don't want to move here. This place is a town of death.
Well, you know.
It's a town of death, and I just purchased a home here. So, I forgot where... Oh, Jericho. Sorry, man, all these sirens and all this death talk. So Jericho.
Yeah,
He
well.
could have been the guy that lost. It would have been A-okay to do that. It would have been perfectly fine to build people with Jericho. Shit, he spent... I'd say... 2008 up until the Kevin Owens thing putting people over. He lost to fucking Fandango at WrestleMania.
That's a very valid point you bring
That's
up, Mike.
all he's
Very
done for
valid
like the
point.
last decade is put people over on a part-time basis. And if you could go to New Japan and now you're, instead of putting over fucking Fandango, you're putting over Kenny Omega and Naito. Like, yeah, you could easily do that with this guy and it'd be okay, man. Jericho's not like one of the... This isn't John Cena. If John Cena showed up and started losing matches all the time in New Japan, you'd be like, whoa, man, this is John Cena. But I'm sorry, Chris Jericho's been enhancement talent at an upper mid-card level for the better part of his career now. Not
It's
the
a valid
better
point
part
you
of his
make.
career. I'd say, but like the last half of his career, he's been part-time upper mid-card enhancement talent until Kevin Owens.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Now, let me like bring it back. We didn't do that. He's the IWGP Intercontinental Champion, a 10-time Intercontinental Champion, and regardless of what, you know, strict WWE haters or New Japan haters or whatever anybody wants to say, this helps both businesses and helps Chris Jericho tremendously.
Oh, it's going to be huge. And not only that, it's not really... Did you hear see his interview where he explained how he's going to defend this title?
And I heard that he won't wrestle for less than six figures, but that's all that I heard.
No,
which I
not
think...
really. He will not defend this title in North America out of respect for Vince McMahon, he said. So
Okay,
he's
well,
not
I
going
had
to be.
heard-
He's not going to be at the 4th of July the G1 opening, whatever it is this year. I can't remember
Right.
what they call it. He's not going to be defending it at that. He's not going to be defending it at
All in.
All In. So this is pretty interesting. I mean, so he's not really hurting Vince's business in North America.
No, he's not. And this is where people get their panties all up in a bunch, and they're saying like, it's disrespectful to Vince, or if you're looking at the other way, well, this is Jericho sticking it to Vince. Like, Jericho, like, if you listen to anything that Jericho talks about, he loves Vince McMahon. He looks at him like a second father figure. He's, like, Vince is aware of all this stuff, and Vince is okay with it. And if this is the thing that's laid out, then Vince doesn't give two shits. However, I saw somebody on a thread somewhere say, this just blows my mind, say that Jericho should show up on Raw with that title and drop it in the trash. And I'm like, are you flipping kidding me? For one, you obviously don't know anything outside of the scope of WWE at all. And for two, like that. If you're gonna fantasy book, let's fantasy book the right way and say Jericho should show up on Raw or SummerSlam and challenge Seth Rollins to be the ultimate greatest Intercontinental Champion ever. How amazing would that be? It doesn't have to be title versus title. It's just IC Champ versus IC Champ. Him walking into a WWE event carrying that belt. I think it's highly unlikely, but I don't also think it's out of the question. And how insane could that be, Mike?
Right, if you're gonna fantasy book, that's the move. Why are you gonna have a Medusa this shit?
Right, like we're past
We've
that,
seen
man.
that. That's
and we're
been
gonna talk.
done before,
We're
man.
talking a little bit about how crazy this stuff is getting, and this is all kind of encompassing. This whole show is gonna, again, it's a circle in a circle, Mike.
It's a roar Boris, you motherfuckers.
So I guess, hey man, congratulations to Chris Jericho. This is an awesome accomplishment, no matter how you look at it, and it's exciting for wrestling in general, for both companies that this guy is associated with, and it's just, God, 2018 is awesome, man. We're gonna get to that later, but let's keep moving because, like I said, we got a big suitcase and a lot of shit to unpack.
I know, man. We're both sitting on that motherfucker trying to get it zipped. It's just not going.
It is not working.
We gotta fold things better.
We unzipped that extension part and pulled it up. It still ain't working, man.
Yeah, we gotta fold things better. That's the problem.
We gotta fold things, and
I got too many shoes packed. That's on
and
me.
we have a lot of chapstick packed.
Yeah.
We gotta take that out. Sorry, Seth. Anyway, move on to topic number 3 in this category, Mike. The things that matter to most, probably, of our listeners when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Kenny Omega, IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Absolutely amazing. I think this was time. This was coming. It almost had to happen, and I might be alone. I know I'm not alone in this thinking, but I just have a pretty strong feeling that this was something he needed to get on his checkoff list if he was ever going to come and make that jump to the WWE, and I think it's coming, man.
It's not coming for a while. This dude just signed like a 5-year contract.
With who?
With New Japan, like last year.
Nah, it's a 1-year contract, man.
Was it a 1-year contract?
They only, from what I've ever read, they only do 1-year contracts, which blows my mind.
I thought he signed for like long term. I don't think he's coming to WWE.
No, but the last time
not for a while.
Last time the Bucks signed with Ring of Honor, it was like a 3 or 4 year contract,
yeah,
which is due to expire.
I really don't see it, not for a while.
Well, let's not speculate on that, but let's talk about our buddy Dave Meltzer.
You're the one speculating on it.
I just tossed it out there.
Oh, you're allowed to speculate, but I'm not allowed to rebuttal. I see how it is.
Well, no, not quite.
If
you look at the run sheet, we're going to get to this shit a little bit later.
I had no clue.
Calm your tits. Calm your tits. Calm your tits. We're going to get there. I probably threw it out there too soon. It just did hit me. So let's reel it back. 7-star match, man. Kenny Omega, Okada, the Rainmaker. Dude, 7 stars. Come on, Dave.
His arbitrary bullshit system just means less and less every day, doesn't it?
Like, I saw people like, oh, now the WWE marks are going to bitch about Meltzer 7-star. It's not because it doesn't matter if you're a mark for one company or not, but if you want to be, like, I can deal with the 6-star thing. I think it's annoying and we make fun of it, but if you're just going to make numbers up now, then your ranking system, literally just throw it in the toilet. It means nothing now.
It doesn't either, man. Like, I get what he's saying, too, because, like, I'll be honest with you. This was probably the perfect wrestling match. Like, it was built perfectly. The Kenny Omega build up to this match, the face turn to reuniting with Ibushi, the story they told about how, You know, he now he's training with Ibushi, like his original tag team partners, the Golden Lovers, and how the Bullet Club just couldn't get it done with him with their training. Now he's like changed his ways. Like the story they told, and then the story they told in the ring, the 2 out of 3 falls. Like, dude, I'm not joking. Like when I said this was maybe like the closest thing you could get to a perfect wrestling match. This is like, while I personally enjoyed the Jericho Naito match more because I was more personally involved in it, and I like, this is something we didn't really touch on. Chris Jericho in this match was not Chris Jericho that we know.
Right.
Chris Jericho in this match was a psycho. Like, he was brutal and vicious and nasty, and he was heel Jericho, except heel Jericho's always a bitch and whiny, and this was not a bitch. This was Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm coming for you and I'm going to murder you. Like, I hate you, Bret Hart. Like, level shit. And so I was way more personally invested. I have made no bones about it. Jericho is my second favorite wrestler of all time. Naito has been one of my favorite wrestlers for years now. I've been praising him since we were at the high spot. So personally, I was more invested in that, and I liked the narrative of a psycho Jericho. He was like Tommaso Ciampa Jericho. It was insane.
Right.
So.
Right. That's a good. I like that comparison.
Yeah. So I thought that was a better match. I'm not a big fan of like hour-long matches. They tend to lose my attention span. This did not. This was legitimately the perfect match. This was like perfect hour-long match. At no point should you have lost your attention span. It like started at like 7 a.m. and I didn't fall asleep at all. I wasn't tired. I was exhilarated throughout it. This was an amazing match. I could get why he gave it 7 stars. Like, I get it, right? But like,
I'm not arguing that point. I'm arguing the point of get a hold of yourself.
Yeah. I could get saying this was the greatest match I've ever seen. Blah blah blah.
Like,
but
when you have haters calling you a straight New Japan, Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, you suck their dicks all the time, kind of like reviewer, and then you do something like that. Like, you might think it's cute and you're trolling them, but it really literally makes you look like, yeah, they're right. Everybody's right.
What are you going to do next January 12th when it's, I don't know, Omega defending the title against Ibushi, and it's the Golden Lovers squaring off in an emotional bout, right?
Right.
Though, are you going to give it 8 stars because you like Ibushi more than Okada? Omega's your boy, and Ibushi's his boy. So he's put himself in a trap. The 6 stars did it because I get why he gave that match 6 stars. You know what I'm saying? You know? Like, at the time, you were like, wow, shit, that's an upper echelon thing. You know?
Because when you watch a match and you say that might be the greatest match I've ever seen, you have that intention to be like, well, if it's better than this 5-star match, then I have to give it 6. But you don't.
Best match
you can say it's the best 5-star match I've ever seen.
Yes, you can say that because the problem is it's the best match you've ever seen at that moment.
Right.
And here we are a year later, and now you have to give out 7 stars.
And
it probably was
crazy.
the best 5-star match I've ever seen.
Right.
Like, I could say
7
that.
stars, I guess.
I could say that. I could say that about the Jericho Naito match. Like, there were a lot of great matches on this. Like, the whole card. I thought this was a better show than Wrestle Kingdom. I really did. It was more concise. Not all the titles were defended. You had some fun matches in there that were like filler gimmick matches. Not gimmick matches, but like, I'm sorry, Rey Mysterio Jr., Tanahashi, Liger versus Cody, the villain and the Hangman. That's a filling gimmicky match, and that was fun, you know. So to me, it was shorter, more concise than Wrestle Kingdom, and it offered better matches.
Right. No, and I guess, you know, to kind of wrap this up, I don't like, you know, a show that you and I both listen to, the New Age Insiders. Shout out to them. They do good work. One of their hosts, I can't remember. I think it's Bill. No, I think it's Liam Stryker. Always says you can't. He hates watching a New Japan show, and then the next 2 days they watch Raw and people compare them, and you can't do that because Dominion, Wrestle Kingdom, these are big shows for New Japan. New Japan doesn't do weekly things like WWE does. It's a whole different animal. You want to compare Dominion to Money in the Bank? I think that's fair because they're now considering Money in the Bank one of the big four, so it's like a 4.5, right?
Yeah.
So, that I guess that's fair. Maybe more of a SummerSlam because that's technically this is New Japan SummerSlam, right?
Yeah, Dominion's one of their bigger shows.
So, I mean, but all that being said, let's look at it from a not an idiotic perspective. You think it was better than Wrestle Kingdom, Mike?
I'm not gonna say it was better than Wrestle Kingdom. I enjoyed it more than Wrestle Kingdom.
That's fair. That's
it
fair.
Was,
I like
it
that
was,
stance.
To put it in terms that maybe like a WWE fan would understand, it would be imagine SummerSlam, or not SummerSlam, but WrestleMania, right? It's a 7-hour show basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then, occasionally you've got, like, Money in the Bank, for instance. Where it could just drop, like, 4 or 5 title matches, a couple non-title matches, and you're getting out the door in 5 hours, and they could be amazing matches.
Right.
Probably better than WrestleMania, because Money in the Bank is for wrestling fans, and WrestleMania is for casual fans. That's not really fair because WrestleMania is better than every pay-per-view
right.
the WWE offers generally. So, I just enjoyed it. It didn't drag. Wrestle Kingdom starts to drag for me at a certain point. It does because no one gives a shit about the never openweight 6-man tag titles. Because I'm also watching the junior heavyweight tag titles and the heavyweight tag titles. So, at a certain point, it just all starts to drag for me. And this didn't drag at all. This was just like, boom, all the matches were well-paced, exciting matches. None of them felt like they went too long, even though you had matches that went half hour, 45 minutes, hour long.
Right.
Shout out to Will Ospreay and Hiromu Takahashi, the junior heavyweight title. Takahashi was the winner of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, and that's usually a pretty good indicator that you're going to win the title. Takahashi and Ospreay have been in the title scene for, I don't know, I'd say about the last year now. Up there with Marty Scurll and, I'm brain farting right now. Oh, I don't like this. The little Back to the Future guy. The guy whose gimmick's Marty McFly. I don't know why I can't remember his name right now. It's killing me. I really like him. Anyway, so Takahashi picked up the win. That was a great match. I really enjoyed that. And I know I was just making fun of the openweight titles, but the never openweight championship, Hiroki Goto defended against Mike Elgin and Tai Chi. Mike Elgin, I didn't even recognize him. Dude looks like a fucking beast now. Apparently, saying terrible things on the internet and losing all your bookings gives you plenty of time to work out and hit the gym. He looked like a monster. There was no, how he kind of was like always looked big but had a little bit of like baby fat on him. None of that. He looked like a powerhouse. Pulled off some amazing moves in the ring. Dude looked like $1 million. I've never really been a big fan of his, but he was really impressive, and he came away with the never openweight title. So there's just some highlights to check out.
There you go. I believe the guy you're looking for, the Marty McFly gimmick, is the Kushida.
Kushida, yeah. Yes.
Kushida,
all capitals.
Yeah. I'm going to pronounce Japanese names wrong almost every time.
That's why I'm here, man.
That is why you're here. I do want to give credit where credit's due. Man, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, because I'm not nearly in New Japan like you are, but I did a little research, and because I knew this was a big deal. But first and foremost, Kenny Omega, a short list of non-Japanese champions holding this heavyweight championship, man. I mean, he's on a list. There's 28 total champions that have held this title, And the only ones that are non-Japanese are Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar, Big Van Vader, Bob Sapp, and Scott Norton.
Man, Scott Norton, huh?
Yeah, I thought, man,
one of these
things is not like the other.
Fuck that, man. I was a big Scott Norton fan. I always really enjoyed that dude's work.
It's just one of those names when you read that list that really sticks out.
You're just
but,
like, holy shit, that dude.
Sorry for throwing shade on you, Scott Norton, but hey, it is what it is.
No
but
disrespect.
Anyway.
Was a huge fan of Flash Norton, man. Vicious and Delicious, I always thought, got the shaft as the NWO's second tag team. It's not their fault that they were in a faction with arguably the greatest tag team of all time.
Right, yeah, it's hard to beat the Outsiders, but let's give credit where credit's due. That's a pretty impressive list of names. The first three I named, Omega, Styles, and Brock Lesnar. Come on, man. Like, and just to know that all the rest of them have been Japanese, Japanese guys, like, that's a cool thing to be a part of. And I know he's proud, but Omega should be damn proud. And then when you go on to the fact that every main title now in that company is held by a non-Japanese competitor.
I wouldn't say every. Takahashi won the junior. The junior is a major title over there.
Okay, so
that's the title
then
Finn Balor held.
Heavyweight tag,
the Young Bucks,
Intercontinental,
Jericho, heavyweight Omega, and don't forget Jay White
and US.
Jay White is a New Zealander.
Title.
He's a New Zealander, but he's a white.
Okay,
he's a white dude.
Well, yeah, but he's white.
But he's a white
so
dude.
he's because we got Americans, Canadians, and New Zealanders.
Yeah,
I like it.
This is the push.
Clearly, that's what I was gonna say. This is clearly where it looks like. I don't think that, and I could be wrong, and you can tell me I'm full of shit, Mike. I don't think New Japan has this goal of, I'm going to go into America and put Vince McMahon out of business. What I think they have in mind is, we need to draw more attention to ourselves from that aspect of a fan. So we need to get our titles on guys that they either know of or can relate to.
They are to
make that push.
A viable alternative.
Yep, absolutely.
We're not trying to shut Vince out of business. That's ridiculous. But if you're maybe tired of some things, we got some stuff going on over here that maybe you like.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. We're going to come back to this, Mike. Because we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, man, 2018's just freaking weird for wrestling in a totally amazing, awesome way. The battle we never thought we'd see in a way we probably never imagined we'd see it. Hang tight, we'll be right back.
It's a new day, yes it is!
Welcome back, everyone. I'm not sure if you got a chance to actually sit down and watch the whole thing, Mike, but it was kind of the talk of this week. We already talked about Dominion, which was last weekend, and that, of course, was buzzing like Sunday, Monday into Tuesday, but then Monday afternoon we start to hear about the New Day versus the Elite and Kenny. And we're like, what's going on? And of course we find out that it's tied into the E3 convention. It's a Street Fighter V tournament. But I think the biggest thing that I'm not going to lie, it blew my mind, is when I see WWE.com actually writing an article and promoting this and putting over the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. I mean, you read the article, right, Mike?
Yes.
And not only was there an article, but then there was a video with the WWE. She's like Kathy Kelly. She's like their social media guru, or does the in-studio stuff if you pay any attention to things they put out on social media. And she does a video on it. They're showing pictures of them. They make mentions of the Elite, the Cleaner, IWGP Heavyweight Champs, IWGP Heavyweight Tag Champs, Super Kick Party, V-Trigger. They even throw in a 6-star match reference. I'm not making this shit up, guys. Could they, like... What the hell is going on, dude? I love it, but I'm confused by it, man.
Well, a lot's
You're at
happened.
a loss for words, too,
A
aren't
lot
you?
has happened. Let's just go ahead and break open the floodgates here. Adam Cole at Evolve
Right.
and Triple H's recent comments. Did you get a
That
chance
the
to...
door's open
Yes.
to do cross-promotion.
Yes, the door is open. It's like I said earlier, we're in a global territory system.
Mm-hmm.
And much like when we had a national territory system, you had to start doing some cross-promotion. You had to start making your stars seem big on a viable worldwide level, and it's great that Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are huge stars and they draw in India, but there's some things going on in England right now, in Japan.
Right. Right.
And you need to really start getting in at the ground level. New Japan has... Say what you want about NXT, okay? It's an amazing farm system. Call it what you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
And... Except what New Japan has is almost like what the NFL has with college football, right? New Japan already has these people working for them. Right? They already have Jay White as their U.S. champion. You know what I'm saying? That's a guy that WWE has to be looking at as a potential
Right.
NXT champion one day.
Right.
So they have this farm system like the NFL has this with the NCAA where it's like they're getting guys for free already. They're getting free looks at these guys. They don't have to draft them like baseball does and put them into a farm system and develop them. They're getting free looks all day long. So I think WWE is going to start making some concessions with Evolve. They already have somewhat with, Pete Dunne. That
Yeah.
UK
Yeah.
circle of guys they have there. They're going to start making some concessions with Ring of Honor. So they can start getting first looks at these guys maybe. And it's going to be interesting what happens moving forward. We're now acknowledging Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. We're acknowledging the IWGP Heavyweight and Heavyweight Tag Champions.
I don't know if you saw it, Mike, but they even went so far as WWE.com and the Facebook page, or however you want to look at it, posted a video. On the network they have the hidden gem section.
Yeah.
Of promoting, hey, look, it's Kenny Omega in the WWE. Or on the WWE network, I should say. Smoky Mountain, I believe it was.
Wow.
It's on there. And the link, and it's I believe it's a match, but the link that they shared was a brief promo by a very young, very, very green Kenny Omega, and it was fantastic. And I'm just like, what is going on in 2018? You throw all that in, you throw in the Cruise of Jericho and everything that man is continuing to do to just literally say, I might not have ever been in this conversation of Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling, but F all of you. I'm knocking someone off of there and putting myself up. Because, let's be honest, he's doing the job right now. And, all the companies he's working with for that. You have this whole battle over Madison Square Garden. You have, which that's a whole topic for a whole nother show, and we're not going to get into that. But again, we mentioned, we got Adam Cole at Evolve. We got this all-in show that is just all-encompassing of everything that is independent wrestling today, man. Like, it's amazing. And then when you see stuff like this, I almost conspiracy theory this here. I talked a little bit ago about maybe Omega coming to WWE. There's been a lot of talk online that the reason we're seeing this is because there's going to be a bidding war over Omega and the Young Bucks. They want them. They want them at the same time. They're going to throw a lot of money at them to get them because of this Fox deal, and they feel like not only do they want them, but they need them. I think that's a good stance to have. I think that puts those three men in an awesome position. Now, the bottom line is, if it really comes down to money, I don't think New Japan can compete with WWE on that level.
No, not at all.
All that being said, let's throw out another scenario here, Mike. If this is a global thing, if the landscape is truly changing like you and I are kind of thinking it is it totally out of the question to see within even the next like 4 or 5 months, 6 months, a working relationship with New Japan, Ring of Honor, and WWE? It almost makes me think maybe there's a reason they put this title on Chris Jericho. Maybe there's something that's been in the works that none of us have known about. We've literally seen, we talked about it last week, we've seen the surveys they've sent out. We've seen the, would you want New Japan content? Would you want Ring of Honor content? Would you want Evolve content? We've seen it. When there's smoke, there's fire. We've seen, Something Else to Wrestle With just did a show on the network that was about AJ Styles and included I didn't watch it. I thought it was just WWE, but then it said about his TNA career. I don't know if it was both or just TNA.
Well, Bruce was
however
there.
you want to talk about it, however you want to look at it, how amazing is that? They showed footage again from TNA on the damn WWE network. Like, dude, something's going on that we're not all nearly as clued in as we think we are.
Part of me agrees with you. Like, there's something going on. But part of me,
well, obviously there's
part
something
of me
going on.
also thinks maybe it could be something as small as they're just recognizing the landscape shift.
Which is still a good thing, though.
Yeah, it's still a great thing. Would it be great if there was something really, like, something huge in the works? Yeah, man, it would be amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
but
because this actually brings me back to, yeah, it would be amazing. But if it's not, if it's just recognizing the landscape, it brings me back to how we even got into this topic to begin with. New Day versus the Elite and Omega. Did you get a chance to watch any of it? Did I ask you that? I don't even know if I did.
You asked me if I watched it. I watched some of it. I watched a little bit here and there.
Well, it was an hour and a half.
I did enjoy some of, like, the barbs they threw at each other. I really liked.
How fun was that?
I really liked when they were talking trash and the New Day kind of got together in a huddle and Omega said, "Oh, what are you guys doing? You waiting on your team of writers to call you back with some material or something like that?" He really like I like that they made fun of
each other and the companies and
they made fun
like
of
the silliness of the whole thing.
The silliness of the whole thing, and they made fun of the things that fans talk
make fun
shit
of.
about.
Yes.
So
yes. What was the
other
other barb?
But they did it in such a comical way where it was almost like they weren't poking fun at each other. They were poking fun of the fans that complain about this stuff.
Yeah. What Omega says something about you're going to be as free as a WWE Network subscription.
Yes.
And then they also said something about super kicking them back to WWE's mid-card. and then another comment, the Young Bucks and Omega stuff kind of sticks out more for me because I relate more to the issues with that product, if that makes sense.
Yes.
They said something to the effect of, I think Omega told Big E, "Welcome to your main event. This will probably be the only one you'll ever be in." And Xavier Woods started laughing and said, "Obviously this guy doesn't watch the product. We were in the main event last week." It was awesome to see. It was so fun to see these guys playing up their gimmick from their respective brands or companies, however you want to phrase it, going at each other and literally sitting here thinking, how amazing would it be for both of these companies to push all the shit aside and let these 6 men have what would literally be a 10-star match if it was in Tokyo?
Well, yeah, it'd be mind-blowing. If these 6 actually competed against each other in a ring, doesn't matter where it happens, it's gonna change the game. But I love this because to us, we're wrestling fans in our mid-30s, right?
Yeah.
This was stuff that when we were 15, 16, the Attitude Era was happening. This was stuff you just maybe heard about. Like maybe you had a buddy that had a subscription to the Observer for a few months, and you'd read about maybe at some kind of convention or something that there was like some WCW guys, some WWF guys, and they all got together and hung out because they all know each other, right? You know?
Right.
And there'd be
right,
like these
right.
stories of these guys getting together. And you'd maybe hear like rumors about it. You'd be like, man, oh God, that'd be so cool. And now we're seeing it. And it's so just like, I think to us, it's probably more mind-blowing to us than it is to a fan that's 22.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Because to us, like, you never, ever expected Vince to acknowledge things unless it was in like a derogatory way, like everything WCW ever. Ever. God rest your soul, DDP. You're not dead, but you're wrestling dead. So I just love everything about this. This whole thing is just so impressive to me. I love that WWF is just finally being cool. Because wasn't that like part of the problem for so long? Wasn't it just like, why can't you guys just be fucking cool?
Yeah.
Like, why can't you just be cool, man? About anything. Just be cool about shit. You used to be cool. You used to let Shawn Michaels come out and do the click sign. Like, the night after the Outsiders shouted him out on Nitro.
Yep.
You used to be cool. And now you just quit being cool. Now you're getting cool again, man. You're like that friend you had that, like, got all, like, serious and shit, like, real early in life. And was like, oh, no, we gotta grow up, man. We're 20. And you're like, we're fucking 20, man. And then, like, later on, he, like, chilled out and shit and realized, like, you know, like, I don't know, maybe, like, smoked weed for the first time or something. Who knows? Whatever the reasoning behind it was. Everybody had that friend that just was, like, real super serious and you had to quit hanging out with. And then later in life, they were just, like, chilling. And they came, like, hung out with you some more. And you were like, oh, cool, man. What happened to you? And they were just like, I don't know, man. I just got a prescription for Xanax and started seeing a therapist. Sometimes people just, like, lose their cool and they gotta find it again, man.
That is very, very, very true.
We're not advocating smoking weed, by the way. That's just an example.
No, we don't.
I just know a guy that just, like, later in life.
Don't advocate drug use of any
That's
way,
just like a
shape, or
legit
form.
story. I just know a guy who, like, later in life started smoking weed and just, like, chilled out and became much more than decent dude. So, but we're not advocating it. I'm not saying that should have worked for everyone. You could have a bad reaction, freak out, run in the middle of the street, get hit by a car. Oh no!
With your pants on your head.
And then what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Your pants are on your head and you're hit by a car. How are you gonna explain this one to your wife? Yeah, your wife. We're not talking about your mom.
You won't explain it because you're dead.
You hope. Best case scenario, you're dead.
Then you don't have to.
You don't have to explain
it,
right?
Then you just leave them wondering what went wrong.
People be at your funeral like, there's Chuck. Got high on pot. Put his pants on his head, ran in the street, got hit by a truck.
Nobody knows why.
That's why you don't do drugs, kids.
That is why you don't do drugs. I guess just to kind of put this one to bed too, man. We are living. You and I personally, I know, have been saying how amazing, the last couple of years we're starting to get, and that we would look back on them and think, man, for all the hate, these were some really good years in pro wrestling. And then we've been saying that 2018 was shaping up to be the year. Dude, this is going to skyrocket stuff. I just have this feeling. With the Fox deal, with this New Japan, with Triple H saying they're open to cross-promotion, I have a feeling Triple H is getting more power. He's getting more control, and he is getting more of that. Control is the word I mean, but he's just getting to where his decisions are going to have more weight. He's going to be able to do more, and it's literally going to open even more doors to more possibilities.
I have a real feeling 2019 could be the biggest year in wrestling since 2001. The way things are shaping up and moving towards the future. Yeah, you're right. The next year looks real bright.
I love it. We're going to have to put our sunglasses on, Mike, and just watch it get brighter.
Yep.
God, that was cheesy. I'm probably going to edit that shit out. Guys, when we come back, we're going to talk about it, Mike. I don't care what you say. We're going to talk about it.
We're not going to talk about it. Don't make me do
We're going to talk
not
about
2
it.
weeks in a row.
We're going to talk about our boy Punk, and then we're going to talk on this weekend's Money in the Bank. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
And now, a reading of Nothing's Gonna Stop Me Now, the theme song to Perfect Strangers, as read by the real one, Enzo Amore. Sometimes the world looks perfect, nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling, how you doing? Like you need some kind of change. No matter what the odds are this time, nothing's gonna stand in my way. Not even a couple of haters. This flame in my heart, like a long lost friend, gives every dark street a light at the end. Standing tall, on the wings of my dream. Rise and fall, on the wings of my dream. The rain and thunder, the wind and the haze. I'm bound for better days. How you doing? It's my life, my dreams. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. It's my life and my dream. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me now. How you doing?
All right, Mike. It's time.
No.
It's time.
No.
We're gonna do this quick because we still got a lot of stuff to unpack here.
Let's just get this.
But
do it. Let's go.
UFC 225, CM Punk eating punches to the face. Did you watch this?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Take that as a no. So, if you didn't watch it, God, do yourself a favor, man. Go back, check it out. You know, let me do it this way first, real quick. I'm a CM Punk hater because I feel abandoned, because Punk brought me back to the game, to the business that I love, professional wrestling. All that being said, I have to give a lot of respect for this dude trying something new and getting the dog shit punch, not kicked, punched out of him and not quitting. Now I'm going to bury him. I've never seen someone professionally fight in a ring, octagon, whatever you want to call it, in a legit fight, look so fucking out of their element that it's embarrassing. I am not someone who trains to fight. I am not someone who has even... Yeah, sure. I was like 4 and I took karate class, didn't everybody? But like...
Yeah.
I can't tell you, like, oh, I trained how to throw a punch or this and that and the other. Dude. I missed the first Punk fight. Not that, you mean, you blink and you missed the first Punk fight. And I never even went back to bother and watch it. I watched this whole thing, and it was downright embarrassing. Personal opinion, he made wrestlers look bad. We now need Brock Lesnar to go back to UFC and pull heads off of people to redeem pro wrestling. It's that bad. He did this spinning roundhouse kick, and he looked like he was on fucking ice skates figure skating. Like, he spun completely around in slow motion and left his entire back exposed, while his opponent didn't jump on that because he did it like 6 times. Just tells you how bad his opponent was, and he still got his ass kicked. You have an opinion on this, Mike?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
So, on that note, man, is this the end of the CM Punk's MMA career?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
And when you put it that way, what else does Punk have to do? His comic book's done. His UFC fighting career is done. I mean, where does he go from here, Mike?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
That's a good point that you bring up, and I think that's a possibility for him in the future. Whether he takes that route or not, I'm not sure. But, I mean, do you think that there could be, like, even a return to pro wrestling?
No, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, I think that wraps up this part of the conversation. So what do you say, Mike? Actually, I almost left something out, Mike.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I just want to. Well, I understand that we are not doing our favorite segment this week. Who says something dumb? Because we have so much to talk about otherwise. But this would clearly fit in this segment. So I'm just going to throw it out real quick. Meltzer actually tweeted in a response to a fan talking about Punk coming back to WWE or this, that, and the other. Meltzer tweeted, and I'm not going to quote it verbatim, but he basically was implying that WWE scheduled this court case of CM Punk's of the doctor suing CM Punk and Colt Cabana to mess with his fight, because apparently Vince McMahon can fucking tell the courts when they're gonna have a case, because he also apparently knew 2 years when this case was when the doctor filed these charges in 2000, I think 14 or 15. I looked it up. I don't remember, but it was years ago that Vince McMahon had the foresight to think, I bet in 2018 that's gonna be CM Punk's second UFC fight. Let's fuck him. Meltzer's an idiot.
Yeah, that's actually retarded to say. It's just so retarded. It's also, he didn't even talk the fact that CM Punk probably knew I'm gonna deal with this case in the first half of 2018, right? His lawyer had to give him some kind of idea. We're looking at first half 2018 deal.
Yeah,
this,
absolutely.
Right? So he could have taken a fight for second half, but he wanted to fight in Chicago. Wasn't this fight in Chicago?
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm. He wanted to fight in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this was. He could have taken a fight in the second half of the year. Come on, he had an idea.
Surely.
He had a roundabout. You know what I'm saying? He had a roundabout.
You always have an idea.
So don't get me.
Always have an idea.
My Aunt Bess my great Aunt Bess, God rest her soul. She's up there with the big guy. Beautiful woman, inside and out. Mean as a fucking viper. She always used to say, "Go on with that bullshit." And if she was a wrestling fan, she'd say that to Dave Meltzer right now.
Fair enough. All right, it's time for the go home cue. We're getting it, Mike, and we have two more things we're gonna try to talk about: NXT Takeover and Money in the Bank. NXT Takeover. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna run down the matches. You tell me who you think's gonna win. I'll say who I think's gonna win, and that's it. Because guys, we love you. We love you guys, and we like to do this content for you. But we've been talking for way too long already, and we don't want to bore you, and I'm tired as hell. So here we go.
I still have to give What If When We Die We Scatter's new song a review on the page as well.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, dude.
Ooh.
Oh, it's.
You got some inside info there.
Oh, I do have some inside info. Oh my, and it's. Oh, dude. Fuck you, Vest. I hate how good and talented you are at music, and how you are everything that I wish I was, as far as like a guitar player and a songwriter and a lyricist. And it makes me mad that my little bit of talent enables me to play like funny cover songs of like 80s pop shit, and you like write like meaningful deep shit, and you're like half my age, and
Not half. Come on, don't age us that much.
oh my gosh, man, is he not just like, not to like lick this dude's asshole too much, but like, if you guys don't listen, like, seriously, we'll link this band out. We do a lot. Like,
Yes.
this is an amazing band. They're on iTunes. They will be. Their album will be. It's coming out soon. You guys, like, go check their singles out on YouTube. Like, we're not just saying this because this dude's like a friend of the show, but like, this is an extremely talented man musically, an extremely talented band, and it's a lot of different genres mixed into one. But it's rock, and it's excellent stuff, guys. Check it out.
100% back that statement, and absolutely check it out. Mike, you're gonna, of course, link it up and talk about it, and when the full album's out, man, I can't wait. But anyway, NXT TakeOver. Let's just go over these real quick. Ready?
Said it, man.
Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream.
Ricochet.
Velveteen Dream. NXT Tag Team Championship.
Let's hold on. Let's stop on this real fast. I know we're going through this, but like, Ricochet's gonna be untouchable for like the next year.
I don't disagree with that. I just think Dream needs a win. And it's not going to hurt Ricochet to lose.
Fair. I disagree, but
Okay.
I see your point. Let's go.
Okay. NXT Tag Team Championship. Undisputed Era as the champions versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch.
Undisputed Era. I don't even know who the fuck those two guys are. Undisputed Era.
Undisputed Era. Those guys are pretty good, but Undisputed Era all the way. NXT Women's Championship. Shayna Baszler, Nikki Cross. Shayna, obviously, as champ.
I think Baszler for the win.
I said it before, I'll say it again. Baszler is going to be the face of this division for at least a year.
At least.
NXT Championship. Champion Aleister Black versus challenger Lars Sullivan.
Black.
Also Aleister Black, and I repeat the statement I just said, but replace Aleister Black with Shayna Baszler.
Agreed.
All right, here it is. The match we're all waiting for. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, Chicago Street Fight.
I think you gotta have Gargano go over.
I 100% disagree. You gotta have Ciampa go over. I don't think this is over. I think we get one more match out of this. And to do that, you gotta have Ciampa take this one.
Taking the takeover at SummerSlam.
Yep.
Fair enough.
That's what I think.
Fair enough. Draw it out and then have them both debut on main roster on separate shows.
Yep, absolutely. All right, good talk on that one. I think we handled that pretty well.
Yeah.
All right. Money in the Bank.
Or keep one of them back and make them the transition NXT champion.
Also a possibility, but I think
Black is the face of that for a while, though.
yeah, I don't think their timeline's going to fit with what they have in mind for Black. So, yeah, I think we're pretty. It'll end at SummerSlam, and I think you're right. We might see a debut shortly after that for each one of those men on separate brands because it almost you have to do that. Okay, Money in the Bank. Now we're not going to talk every single match. We're going to talk the big ones here, Mike. Maybe you're going to get some kind of other show on an Earphone Network. We can't promise anything. Maybe you will. If not, we're going to cover the big ones for you guys. So let's just do it right off the bat. WWE Championship. Last man standing. AJ Styles, our champion. Shinsuke, heel, Nutcracker, Nakamura, the challenger. Who you got, Mike?
I've been saying Nakamura every month for like the last 6 months.
So you're going with Nakamura?
I think I'm just gonna go with AJ Styles. I just don't
You're
think
gonna be wrong now.
I don't think
you're gonna be wrong.
I don't
now.
think they believe.
You're-
Well, good, because I've wanted
Listen.
Nakamura to win it for a while.
Story time. You're gonna be like my buddy who for like 4 years, give or take, every Monday night, he literally came in when we were getting ready to watch Raw, and he's like, I heard Shawn Michaels is coming back this week. I'm not kidding. Almost every Monday night for 4 years. And then eventually I was like, hey man, I heard Shawn Michaels is coming back tonight. And he was like, yeah, whatever. And guess what?
Shawn
Michaels came back that night.
Well, I hope I'm wrong, because I
this
really
is
want
gonna
him
be
to
your
win
Shawn
this.
Michaels moment, man.
Good, because I want him to win this, but I think, and this goes hand in hand with another prediction later, it means more if The Miz takes the title off AJ Styles.
I think it does too, but god damn, like, what do you do with Nakamura if he doesn't win?
Fuck if I know, man. I just talk about wrestling.
I mean, Nakamura's heel character is fantastic. He's the best he's been since he came up to the main roster with this style character. And I just feel like a title would elevate him even more. And I don't like it, so I guess what I'm saying is if he doesn't win this, they almost have to put him in the U.S. title picture, right?
Definitely. Oh, yeah, just like they did Jinder. Just move him down to the next belt.
And I mean, I wouldn't take that. A lot of people talk like the U.S. title at the U.S. title like it's trash, and it's not. AJ brought some glory to that belt. John Cena brought some glory to that belt. Orton had it, for crying out loud. Like, if you put that title on Nakamura, I think it brings the title up. That's a case of the guy making the title mean more.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Definitely.
All that being said, I picked Nakamura to win. And I'm probably wrong, but that's who I picked.
I hope you're right.
I hope I'm right,
Like,
too.
I hope I'm wrong.
I just don't want to be the... I don't want to be the guy who said Shawn Michaels was coming back and then didn't agree when it actually happened. That's all.
Did he watch that night still?
Absolutely.
Okay, then what? Then like it's such like a superfluous thing. So like he didn't like call it that week. Like yeah, but like he still watched it. So it's not like he was like, nah, fuck it, man. This is the first week in 4 years I heard he's coming back. I'm not even watching this shit. And then he missed it. Like he still watched it and saw it. Like it's not like whatever, man.
All right, let's move on to the how do we want to do this?
Let's do the men's Money in the Bank.
Yeah, let's do the Money in the Bank matches. Men's Money in the Banks. Okay, so we have in this match Braun Strowman,
Got a bunch of people.
Finn Balor, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, The Miz, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and one or possibly all three at some point in time members of the New Day. I don't know. Man, this one's actually, you know what's fun? I thought I had stuff completely figured out, and for both these men's and women's, and I don't have any of it now. I'm having a hard time deciding who is going to win these, and I think that is what makes wrestling fun. Who you like?
I think The Miz.
Or
What?
who do you want and who do you think?
Miz
We'll go
and
that
Miz
route.
and Miz.
Ooh, bold guy. I like it.
Oh yeah. And for the women, I want Charlotte to win everything. I've made no bones about that. You know.
Right.
I honestly, like, if I had to pick, I wouldn't want Charlotte to win. I really don't want her to win this. I think it would be more appropriate to have it on, like, Alexa Bliss. I think it fits her character better. I don't want her to have it either, I think. I'd like to see her maybe take a step, see what she can do without a belt or a gimmick.
A gimmick.
A prop.
Yes.
You know what I mean, for lack of a better word. Let's see what she can do without a prop. And she's had a prop most of her main roster run. Let's see how she fares without a prop. I don't know if there's anyone that I care more than the other who wins it. Not Natty. I don't want Natty to win it, but That has less to do with. I feel like her character would probably excel with the briefcase. I just don't. Not an Addie fan. I don't know what it is about her, man. It's the Divas shit. It's her on Divas. It's her as. You know how, like, on wrestling where it's like, oh, I don't like him because of his character. I don't like her because of who she is as a human being.
See, the reality show ruined it for you, didn't it?
It did. She's an annoying, borderline despicable human being on the show.
So, who are you going with?
I think
then?
Becky.
Who? You think Becky wins, and you want Charlotte?
I don't,
but you don't really want.
I don't really want any. It doesn't matter to me who wins. I don't have a want. I'm like,
that's fair.
I'm cool with whoever. I don't want Lana to win it.
That's fair. Okay. Well, let's stick with the women, and we'll circle back to the men for me.
But Becky
with the women, man. See, I think Natalya. I want Alexa. And let me break it down for you.
Mark.
Ember Moon is too. Shut up.
Mark.
Ember Moon it's too soon. Charlotte Flair doesn't need it because she's Charlotte Flair. Natalya. I don't necessarily like to see someone who's such a veteran in the business. This is kind of something that you should use to help people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
And so I don't. That's why I don't want her to win it. Lana, I don't think the briefcase helps her because she needs way more than that, and that's nothing.
I think
personal.
it actually
just,
does damage to Lana.
Yeah, it's kind of like it did to Baron Corbin.
Yeah, she's got a real tenuous hold on being over.
Right.
Where it's almost like if they start to, and by they, pronouns, pal. By they, I mean the WWE booking committee.
Right.
It's almost like if they start to take her too seriously or portray her too serious in ring, people turn on her, right?
Yep.
They're like, this is bullshit.
Yep.
She's not a wrestler.
Yep.
But if she walks that fine line of like, ha ha ha, I'm shitty in the ring, but, everybody likes me with Rusev, she's pretty over. So I think putting the briefcase on her would be one of those things where it would be like, oh, no, she dances and is Rusev's wife, and she has some matches sometimes, and it's cute or whatever. Charlotte comes out and makes fun of her, but no, this is too much.
Yeah, and then just to round it out, Naomi's too much of a face for that briefcase. It always works better when it's on a heel, unless it's just a face that needs it, and Naomi doesn't need it, and she's too much of a face
I think Becky
for it to
needs
work.
it. That's why I'm putting it on Becky.
Yeah, see, that I could work with that. I could go with that. She does need it, and she's the kind of person who would probably cash it in the face style of cash-in.
It would
like,
be
here,
a
I'm
fun
gonna challenge
face
you to a match.
cash-in. It would be a fun face cash-in.
It would be fun with Becky. It would not be fun with Naomi.
Yeah, exactly. Not that Naomi's not a fighting face, but it's just something about Becky's personality would make it fun.
And Sasha Banks also doesn't need it, and the only way it would make sense for her to win that is if Bayley was champion, and she's never going to be champion, at least not anytime soon, for this type of, for the timeline of this briefcase, so it doesn't make sense. I think Bliss makes the most sense because, let me put it to you this way. How many times and I'm not downplaying her, but how many times have you seen a former champion kind of fade away? Especially, like, it happens to the men, so there's a big chance it happens to the women. And Bliss, although I think she's improved a ton, and I think she's great in the ring, she still has that stigma that she's not. So a lot of hardcore fans will necessarily push her to the side. I think this will help her character. I think her character would be tremendous with the aspect of what this briefcase can do for you and how you can sneakily cash in with it.
Fair enough. I can see your argument.
Now thank you. Now back to the men.
See, that's the beauty of this show, guys. is that we might not agree, but we're like, I can see that. We're not like,
Yeah.
you're a fucking idiot and your opinion's wrong. And you're like, no, my opinion is who I am, and now you've said I am wrong as a human.
You're wrong.
You're
I'm
wrong.
right. Fuck
Kenny
you.
Omega is better than Seth Rollins. He's not.
Don't tell Dave Meltzer that. Back to the men's. I'll try to skim through this. Man, I think The Miz, because it just makes the most sense. I would love... I have two ties for who I'd love to see win it. Is Finn Balor, because he would be a fun face cash-in. Let's be honest. Same as Becky. He just comes out with that big shit-eating grin on his face, and he says, I challenge Brock Lesnar or whatever. Whoever is the damn Universal Champ at that time. Or, kind of along the lines of Alexa Bliss, how great would Kevin Owens be with that briefcase in his hand?
Man, that was a hard decision for me between Miz and Kevin Owens. Like, who I wanted.
Right.
I think Owens would be superb with the briefcase.
Right. I do too, man. Real quick, we won't hash this one out like we just did this one, but IC Championship, is Rollins keeping this or is Elias taking it?
Rollins is keeping this for a while.
Yeah, I have some fantasy booking in my head, and I think it makes the most sense for him to keep it for a little bit longer. That doesn't say that Elias doesn't get it eventually, because I think he's next in line. If not him, then Finn, but it all depends on where all this falls out. All right, let's move on. 2 more title matches. SmackDown Women's, Carmella versus Asuka. Who you got?
My gut wants to say Asuka, right? But I think they dragged the story out for another month or two, probably. So,
yeah,
Carmella.
I think that Asuka's gonna eat an ugly, not an ugly loss, but just, it's gonna be ugly for her to get a second loss, but it's not gonna be clean, clearly. There's gonna be some...
She might even win by
shenanigans
DQ or
take
something.
place.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's gonna be, maybe it's a win by DQ.
Point is, she ain't walking out with the belt.
Right. But just because, even though, yes, we're now looking at Money in the Bank as a bigger pay-per-view, I think it's a way bigger deal if she wins it, say, at SummerSlam.
Yeah, totally.
It's a bigger stage, and I'm not one of these guys that's going to say, oh, she's an NXT call-up that didn't work. This woman's going to get a reign with this belt. There's no question in my mind. It just might not be right now.
Yeah, she's going to get it. Just not right now. Just like you said.
Right. Now, speaking of getting it right now, Ronda Rousey, Nia Jax, Raw Women's Championship. I've been going back and forth on this and back and forth on this. I think it's Ronda, man. I think she wins this title.
So I think Nia keeps it.
How does she keep it? Obviously, it's the same thing. See, this is why I think, because I don't think we can do the same thing. We can't have 2 schmoz finishes with both women's titles. People are going to freaking freak out if that happens. So, does Ronda just take an L?
No, she keeps it. Nia keeps it. Something Stephanie McMahon.
Yada, yada, yada.
Stephanie McMahon.
My back hurts this morning.
Yeah. Something Stephanie McMahon.
Okay, that's fair. So I had this whole thing worked out in my head where Natty wins the Money in the Bank. They're doing this Natty thing with Ronda, and, the women's Money in the Bank is early. Ronda and Nia maybe even headline the show, and just as Ronda's ready to lock that armbar on, Natty comes out to the ring. Ronda's confused. She doesn't know why. And Natty hits Ronda with the briefcase and then puts the sharpshooter on Nia after, of course, cashing in and wins the title. But then I'm like, that's a bad look for Ronda. I don't know if they do that. So my opinion's completely changed. I think Ronda wins the belt.
Fair enough.
I think, man, I don't know. I mean, I don't really want to talk about Jinder and Reigns.
Nope.
Reigns is going to win.
Reigns, yeah.
I mean,
We don't need to waste time.
We don't need to talk about that. SmackDown Tag Championship match. Bludgeon Brothers are going to win. No offense to the Good Brothers, but it's probably going to be drawn out and maybe have a different story. Hell, maybe when AJ loses to Nakamura, he goes with the Good Brothers and helps them with the Bludgeon Brothers. I don't know. I just don't think they didn't build the Bludgeon Brothers so big to lose this quick, and it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with all of that 100%.
And I guess, Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley. And, of course, we got the returning Daniel Bryan. I guess we can stop saying returning now. Against Big Cass. I mean, the smart money is it's Big Cass, and this is going to continue, but I didn't want that, so I'm going to say Bryan.
Same, Bryan.
All right. Well, you got any other opinions on Money in the Bank? I think...
When given the option between Big Cass and any other wrestler, the answer is always any other wrestler.
And that's honestly the most fair and honest opinion that we can give you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I think when you look at the gimmick matches, you look at the card as a whole, you look at the fact that there's a rumor that your favorite wrestler in the world, Mr. James Ellsworth, might be making an appearance at this show. I think that this card is like kind of low-key huge.
Yeah, it's a big show.
Like, not a lot of people were like going all batshit about it, and I think it's a really good lineup. I think this has like great balls of fire potential. That was a horrible name, awesome show.
Yeah, this definitely has the potential to be one of the better shows of the year. I really agree with that. I'm looking forward to watching it. I don't normally watch pay-per-views because they happen while I'm at work, and then I just like always end up reading about what happened on my break, and I'm always just like, all right. But yeah, I'm looking forward to actually watching this one.
Yep, it's going to be fun, man. Well, I think we have talked to these people quite enough. I don't think they deserve 1 minute more.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we got time for 1 minute more.
Maybe 1 minute. What would that be for?
We have to promote things, Michael.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to promote.
There's
I already said there may or may not be a pre-show or a
There-
breakdown later on this week. And
There's
Right.
two things to promote.
no, there is not.
Coming soon. Shooting at the Mothership.
There it is.
An in-depth review of WCW Saturday Night, home of the Mothership, here on TBS at 6:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, baby. Featuring our own shooter. And Feeling the Burn, an in-depth dissection of WWF/E Sunday Night Heat, featuring the Near Fall Network's very own shooter. These are shows that are coming soon, people. They're going to be companion sister shows, if you will. They're going to be interesting. He's going to break down the matches. He's going to tell you about every Bunkhouse Buck versus Disco Inferno match. He's going to tell you about those hot TV title matches. He's going to tell you about all those sweet Christian versus some jobber matches. It's going to be really good. He's going to tell you about all those shows, the Sunday night he had where they're like, these are the cool things that are going to happen on the pay-per-view. And here's this shit that we're going to show you that's not very cool. It's going to be good, guys. It's coming soon.
Yeah, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Guys, I say it every week.
Accept that.
It's been real. It's been fun. Wow, messed up my own outro, Mike. How about that?
Almost made it to the end there, dude.
I say it every week. It's been real. It's been fun. We will catch you next time.
You guys are beautiful. Have a great week. We love you.
Are you ready for this, King?
Alright, let's do it.
I know I know last week I gave you a really good math problem. I actually called my friend Bambi up again, and are you ready for this? I got some Dave Meltzer math for you, okay?
Okay.
So, this is a little bit, this is actually a lot simpler than the equation I gave you last week, but we got Omega and Okada in a, obviously a blowing the roof off the building type of match at Dominion. Meltzer gave it to 7 stars, best 2 out of 3 falls. I actually broke this down, and this is why we got the 7-star rating. The first fall was 1 star, the second fall was 2.5 stars, the third fall was 3 stars, and it being that it took place in Japan, it got an automatic half-star bonus.
Yeah, that sounds like General Meltzer math.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were all kind of questioning it, but it totally makes sense.
Look at that.
That's what we do.
Meltzer had it right.
We help people out, Mike. We help people out.
Shout out to Big Papa Pump for being the hookup.
Ollie, if you hear me. That's all I got.
Well, that's all, folks. And then we found $100.